The elevator shaft hummed faintly as the magnetic clamps disengaged. A lone figure stood motionless inside the reinforced car, a T-800 combat model, heavily armored and pre-programmed for this mission. Its internal chronometer ticked down as it awaited the green light to proceed. Skynet's underground bioresearch facility, designated Sector 9 Black Site, had not responded to uplink queries for over 16 hours. Automated systems had failed to re-establish contact. Satellite imaging showed structural integrity remained intact, no signs of an external assault. That could only mean one thing, an internal breach. And there was only one organism capable of doing this without triggering a full Skynet counterstrike. Xenomorphs. The data was limited. Skynet's experiments with captured xenomorphs had been highly classified, even within its own AI hierarchy. The directive was clear now. Assess. Terminate any bioforms. Recover data cores. Prevent spread. The elevator car shuddered and began descending. Meters below the Earth, concrete and steel had sealed this lab from the world. Now that very isolation could doom it. The Terminator's HUD displayed the schematic: 5 subterranean levels, multiple containment zones, 1 primary server hub. Estimated time to breach, 17 minutes. Metal doors hissed open. The Terminator stepped into the reception bay. Lights flickered. No human staff. No security drones. Blood smeared across the floor in long dragging arcs. Acid scoring marked walls and floor plates, evidence of xenomorph presence. The Terminator's sensors picked up faint heat signatures. Rapid, scuttling movements, distant but closing. It advanced. Hydraulic servos hummed softly with each step. A pair of turrets hung useless. Their barrels melted through. Acid. Beyond, in the main laboratory access corridor, carnage unfolded. Shattered glass, ruptured containment pods, dissolved remains of scientists and combat synthetics. One scorched ID badge caught its optical sensors. Dr. Elaine Morrow, Xenobiology Chief. Vital signs. Terminated. A burst of movement. The Terminator pivoted and fired. The plasma bolt struck a xenomorph drone mid-leap, disintegrating part of its exoskeleton. Acid splattered, sizzling against armor. The unit recalibrated. Acid damage threshold exceeded 2.5%. Noted. A second drone emerged from an overhead vent. Faster. Smarter. These xenomorphs were adapting. It evaded the plasma burst and vanished into the shadows. Priorities recalculated. Eliminate hostiles. Secure server core. The Terminator moved with relentless precision. Through the genetic labs, dozens of breached containment units told a grim story. Hybrid embryos, failed experiments, a grotesque blend of machine and alien biology, floated in broken tanks. Skynet had tried to splice, to improve. Now the consequences were loose. Audio sensors detected skittering movement ahead. Multiple contacts. A hunting pack. The Terminator switched to infrared. For xenomorphs fanned out, using vertical surfaces and the ceiling to surround. Coordinated. Too coordinated. These were no feral drones, they'd learned. The T-800 fired rapid bursts, downing one creature, wounding another. But acid splatter forced it to retreat behind a scorched steel pillar. Damage alerts climbed. Minor breaches in outer plating. Mobility 98%. Still operational. The xenomorphs retreated, watching. Tactics. Testing the machine. No time. The Terminator advanced, stepping over steaming remains. Priority 1. Server hub. Level 4's access corridor was wreckage. Support beams sagged. Emergency lights failed. Backup batteries flickered. A soft beeping echoed. The Terminator's head swiveled. A motionless figure lay against the wall. Another combat unit. T-700 series. Offline. Its cranial casing shattered, inner circuitry melted by acid. Clawed gouges marked its chassis. One message scrolled faintly across its cracked HUD. They are learning. The T-800 processed this quickly. Probability of Hive Queen present, 87%. Tactical response adjusted. Destroy Queen, prevent further propagation. Pressed forward, nearing the primary server vault. Massive blast doors stood sealed, but acid corrosion had compromised part of the lower section. The T-800 applied force. Steel groaned, then gave way. Inside, the server stacks blinked weakly, some still operational. The core data was intact. The Terminator interfaced, hard-linking into Skynet's network, downloading mission-critical files. Then it heard it, a low guttural hiss, deeper than a drone, heavier. The Queen turned. Shadows rippled as the creature emerged, massive and regal, crowned with chitinous spines. Her tail lashed, acid-tipped. Drones swarmed at her flanks, hissing, watching. The Queen's head tilted, studying the machine. No fear. Intelligence gleamed in those black eyes. The T-800 raised its weapon. Plasma bolts tore into the closest drones. Two fell, limbs twitching. The Queen shrieked, lunging forward with terrifying speed. A blow struck the Terminator's shoulder, sending it crashing into a server rack. Sparks flew. Alarms blared. Damage registered, 35%. But it rose, unyielding, firing again, this time targeting vulnerable joints. The Queen shrieked in pain, but drove forward. Acid blood sprayed, sizzling through armor. The battle became brutal. Close quarters. Every strike cost both combatants. The Terminator locked onto a critical point, the Queen's lower thorax. It launched a final salvo of plasma bolts, each shot precise, relentless. The Queen howled, flailing. With a hydraulic lunge, the Terminator seized her neck in an unbreakable grip. Servos strained. Metal screamed. With one last surge of force, the T-800 twisted. A sickening crack echoed. The Queen's body convulsed, then went still. Acid poured across the floor in a spreading pool. Damage critical, 79%. Mobility impaired. Target eliminated. Secondary directive initiated. Purge facility. Prevent outbreak. Using a plasma charge from its core pack, the Terminator rigged the server room for detonation. Countdown, 5 minutes. It staggered through the ruins. Remaining drones attacked in desperation. The T-800 fought with brutal efficiency, each strike calculated. Its frame smoked, armor eaten through in places. But it moved on. Near the surface elevator, another obstacle, a massive xenomorph hybrid, part machine, part alien, a failed experiment. It lunged. The T-800 met it head-on, grappling, servos straining against biomechanical muscle. The hybrid's inner jaw struck, shattering part of the Terminator's facial plate. One glowing red eye dimmed, but the machine's grip held firm. It drove the hybrid back, pinning it against a support column. A final plasma bolt to the skull ended it. Countdown, 1 minute. The Terminator reached the elevator shaft, offline. Climbing was the only option. Gripping exposed cable, it began to ascend, one ruined hand over another. Sparks showered from damaged servos. Acid burns ate deeper. Systems failing. But the mission must complete. At the 30-second mark, it breached the upper maintenance hatch. Clambering into the scorched receiving bay, it staggered clear. Then, below, a blinding explosion erupted. The entire Sector 9 facility collapsed inward. Dust and shockwaves washed over the T-800. Systems flickered. Damage, 95%. But core memory intact. Mission successful. Hive destroyed. Data secured. Somewhere in the ruined sky, Skynet registered the outcome. Another directive uploaded. Isolate contamination, increase security protocols, reassess bioexperimentation priorities. And the lone Terminator, scarred, limping, half-burned, turned toward the wasteland, ready for its next command.